When the hikers first stepped into Blackroot Forest, the air felt wrong to still, too heavy, as if the trees were holding their breath. They were only planning a short overnight trip, for friends, childhood buddies, trying to reconnect now that adulthood had scattered them across different lives. But the forest didn't care about their nostalgia. By dusk, the trail markers had disappeared. "It's fine," Liam said, forcing a grin. "We probably just walked past one." But the others noticed something stranger. The path behind them didn't look like the one they'd walked. The trees had shifted silently as if they had turned their backs and changed places. They made camp anyway. The moment the sun slipped behind the canopy, the forest became soundless. No insects, no wind, no distant owls. Just a blackness so thick it felt alive. They tried to sleep, but then the whispering began. Soft at first, like someone speaking behind a wall. Then clearer. Liam, he bolted upright, shining his flashlight into the trees. Nothing. Then, Mara sat up, trembling. "Did you guys hear that?" One by one, each name was spoken. Slowly, deliberately, from different directions. They packed in seconds. No matter which way they ran, their lights found the same tree. A massive black trunk, its bark swollen and knotted like scar tissue, and carved across it, in deep gout, Lil, I, M, Mara, June, Tom, 12/10, 12:17 p.m., AHSAN Fab. Fresh, wet, sap that glistened like blood. "We didn't carve that," June whispered. A new line began forming beneath the others, the wood splitting open on its own, as if invisible claws were working from the inside. Branches twisted downward like arms. Roots tore up from the ground and slithered toward their ankles. The trees groaned along, low creaking, like an exhale after holding breath for centuries. Tom was the first to fall. A root wrapped around his leg and dragged him screaming into the underbrush. His flashlight beam spun wildly before it snapped off. Then Mara was lifted, pinned against a trunk, the bark swallowing her like quicksand. Liam and June ran. They didn't speak. They just ran until their lungs burned and their legs collapsed beneath them. No forest, no path. Just the survivors sitting in a field of dead, rotted stumps. And carved into the nearest stump were two new names. Liam escaped. June escaped. When they staggered back to town hours later, shaking and hollow-eyed, no one believed their story. But the townspeople avoided Blackroot Forest for another reason. Sometimes, when the wind blew just right, you could hear whispering coming from the treetops. Not their names. New ones. Names of people who hadn't stepped into the forest yet.